Hi, welcome back to Focal Point AFR Talk, 888-589-8840. If you want to weigh in on what we've been talking about this hour, vice presidential debate last Thursday or the upcoming town hall the vice presidential debate last Thursday, the upcoming presidential debate tomorrow night, town hall format moderated by Candy Crowley. And here's just a little more from Chuck Todd. He was on Morning Joe today. And he says that he believes, now this guy is completely in the tank for Barack Obama, but this tells you how far the momentum has shifted. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it really has shifted so decisively in Romney's direction that this thing could wind up being a blowout. I just have a sense that this thing is not even going to be close. You just get the sense that the Obama campaign is completely deflated. They're out of gas. They're out of energy. They're out of enthusiasm. They're out of excitement. They are just kind of running now on kind of sheer inertia. And Chuck Todd out there saying that he believes that Romney, if he does well tomorrow night, he says, quote, this is the debate where he could win this election. This is a debate where he could almost close it out if it's such a good performance because of the format. So Chuck Todd saying, look, Mitt Romney could wrap this thing up with another outstanding debate performance. He could wrap this thing up tomorrow night. And here's what he had to say. The private data that I've heard about over the last couple of days and the last 72 hours plus what you're seeing, I feel like there has been a structural shift. We're no longer in this, quote, it's even, but the president has these advantages. But the president has these advantages in the battleground states, I think, is gone. The president, he says, has an advantage in Ohio, but we're starting to see a consistent Romney, very narrow, but a Romney lead in places where Obama had led before. So that's Chuck Todd saying, look, Romney has a strong debate performance tomorrow night. Given the structural shift that's been taking place over the last several days, this campaign could be over by the end of the town hall tomorrow night. Let's go to the phones. Let's go to Lacey. Lacey, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher from Columbus, Ohio. How you doing and what's on your mind?
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. I'm great. I have a problem. I'm a bit concerned with the actual polling and the surveys that are taking place because I was given one. I called. They called my cell phone a couple of weeks ago.
No, hold it. So Lacey, you actually got called by a pollster.
Yes.
And you got called on your cell phone.
Yes.
You know, that's an interesting thing. I'm interjecting here, but Gallup apparently has yielded to pressure because leftists were concerned that Gallup was coming up with poll results that were too favorable toward conservatives, so they hammered Gallup, and Gallup has boosted the number of people that they're calling on cell phones now, making it basically 50-50 with landlines because you know, younger folks, like I don't think my kids, either one of them will ever own a landline in their entire life. I mean, they've been wireless since they merged into, adulthood. And so the criticism was they're missing all these people that just depend on cell phones. So anyway, Lacey, so you got a call from a pollster about the presidential race. Keep going.
Yeah, I got a call, and they had two questions. The first one was, do you think Barack Obama's policies are helping the economy or not having any effect whatsoever? And I said, excuse me. And the lady's like, is it helping the economy or has it no effect whatsoever? I said,
you're kidding me. So those are the only two choices you were given. It's either helped it or it's been neutral. You weren't given an option that's hurt the economy.
Not at all. And I told her that. I said, how about worse? Does that work for you?
What did she say?
Oh, she just, she kind of stuttered, and I was like, ma'am, I don't think his policies have helped us at all. And, they've hurt the United States. And she just didn't know what to say. She said, well, that was an option. I said, no, ma'am, you did not give me that option.
Wow. What was the second question?
The second question was, would I vote for Barack Obama or Mitt Romney? And I said, Mitt Romney. And she said, are you absolutely positive? And I said, yes. She said, you're absolutely positive you will not vote for Barack Obama. And my comment back to her, and I know it sounds horrible, my comment back to her was, if it came down between Barack Obama and the devil himself, I'd vote for the devil. I think we'd have a better chance.
So she
did not like that at all.
She actually pressed you on that business about your vote for Obama. She pressed you on that.
Yes, she did.
Now, did she?
I was like, I can't believe this is how you poll.
Now, did she tell you which polling firm she represented?
If she did, I don't recall what it was.
Okay. Yeah, I'd be curious, because it almost sounds like that could have been a poll that was being conducted by the campaign. You know, sometimes they'll do their own internal polling, although the internal polling that campaigns do, they want to get an honest read because they got to know where they stand. So
right.
When they do internal polling, they want to get a straight read so they know what the landscape is. So a lot of times those are a lot more accurate than the stuff that gets published. All right, Lacey, listen, I appreciate your call. That's interesting. And, speaking of harm to the economy, Rob, let's drop down and grab clip number 13 if we can. This is a clip from Steve Wynn, who has made a lot of money in the hospitality industry. You've got a guy that runs a resort outfit. I read that letter to you yesterday. He says, look, if Barack Obama gets reelected, you're all getting laid off. Coke industry, same deal today. If Obama gets reelected, a lot of you are going to lose your jobs because there's just simply no way to keep going forward. And the guy with the resort company, I forget what the name of the resort outfit was. I don't want to guess wrong. But they run resorts all over the United States and maybe some in the Caribbean. I don't know. But he said, look, if Obama gets reelected, the regulatory burden, the tax burden is just going to be too heavy, and I'm just probably going to get out of business. You're going to be out of a job. Now, I'm going to be relaxing on a beach somewhere in Bermuda. I'm going to be fine. So who gets hurt? It's the little guy. It's the people that work at these resorts. It's the people that serve as concierges at this resort, that work as maids in these resorts, that work as chefs and cooks and bartenders and assistants. They're the ones that are going to get hurt. So who gets hurt? It's not the big guy. So here the Democrats, the liberals are out there saying, hey, we're the fan of the little guy. We're here for the little guy. Not hardly the case. Now, here is Steve Wynn, and this guy has gone after Barack Obama before, but see, he knows. And he's got a lot of people in the hospitality industry. A lot of these people do not make a lot of money. And so they're very dependent on these jobs and these businesses, these hotels staying open. And here's what Wynn had to say about Barack Obama.
I've created about 250,000 direct and indirect jobs, according to the state of Nevada's measurement. That's exactly, what if the number's 250,000, that's exactly 250,000 more than this president, who I'll be if I want to have him lecture me about small business and jobs. I'm a job creator. Guys like me are job creators, and we don't like having a bullseye painted on our back and having the president has tried to put himself between me and my employees.
How?
By class warfare.
Class warfare.
By deprecating and calling a group that makes money billionaires and millionaires that don't pay their share. I gave 120% of my salary and bonus away last year to charities, as I do most years. I can't stand the idea of being demagogue, that is put down by a president who's never created any jobs and who doesn't even understand how the economy works. I'm afraid of the president. I have no idea what goofy idea, what crazy anti-business program this administration will come up with. I have no idea. And I have to tell you, John, that every business guy I know in the country is frightened of Barack Obama and the way he thinks.
So that's a businessman, job creator, 250,000 jobs he's created. President Obama's never created a single one. And he says, I am not going to have Barack Obama, who has no idea what he's talking about, lecture me about job creation. Let's go to John in Peru, Indiana. John, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Hello, Brian. Thank you so much for your scriptures and prayers at the beginning of every program. It really sets a good tone, and it's an encouragement when sometimes circumstances or the news, the items that make the headlines seem like they're not as encouraging.
Okay, but, good. Well, thank you.
What I wonder is, given the town hall format, do you think that candidate Romney will be able to inject into the foreign policy debate the diversion of the blame on this intelligence failure in Benghazi, the fact that they were so critical in 2008 about Bush lied, people died, they didn't have the proper slam dunk intelligence on the weapons of mass destruction, and how could he not know? And he knew they weren't there, and he used them as a ruse, and yet now they're claiming, well, Hillary flubbed and the security was scrubbed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and it would be a mistake for Romney not to make an issue out of this, because this is a very severe problem for the Obama administration. I think, that's the October surprise really that they're dealing with. So I appreciate the call, John, and we'll see if Romney does, does make an issue out of that. And we got several sound bites. We'll lead off the next hour with this that have to do with the whole Libyan situation. And we'd love to have, if any of you in the listening audience have actually been contacted by a pollster, we'd love to hear from you. So give us a call if you've been contacted by a pollster, 888-589-8840. Let's go to Juan in Lumberton, North Carolina. Last call of the first hour. Juan, welcome to Focal Point with Brian Fisher. What's on your mind?
Mr. Ryan, how you doing? I love your program.
Thank you, sir.
I'm doing okay. Listen, I will be a first-time voter. I just become a U.S. citizen a couple months ago, so
Terrific.
I was registered to vote as a Democrat, but only because of my class. I mean, I guess I qualify as the lower class because I don't make no over $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
So the medium class, the middle class, it will be 100,000 and above. Then it becomes a higher class. So the ones that are having the rough time really is the low in the poor class.
Mm-hmm.
Right, Mr. Ronnie never even mentioned none of that. He only mentions that the middle class is being buried to this economy and to this under this president. But he don't ever mention anything about the poor or the lower class. I mean, is there any way? I mean, that you can explain a little bit about that, or?
Okay, yeah, I'll have to hold off till after the news break, Juan, but I will talk about that issue when we come back. And you're saying that neither Obama or Romney's talking about the lower income classes?
Well, Obama does talk about a lot about
so you're
that,
saying,
but see where we at.
All right, well, listen, I got to let you go because we're up against a hard news break. Thanks for the call, Juan. Appreciate that. And congratulations, and cast a wise vote. Focal Point, AFR Talk, back in 5.